What do all fiber artists have in common, you ask? An ever-growing, all-consuming, uncontrollable yarn stash. This is no fault of our own though. This just happens overnight, magically. It's a lot of impulse buying and projects not working out the way you hoped, and then you are just left with, well, this. So this is what we are going to be tackling today. And the best part is, while I try to bust my yarn stash, I'm going to give you some ideas how to bust your yarn stashes. But first, the plan. So a lot of these yarns are actually very low quality, as I bought them when I was just starting out. So I was not bothered by the quality, I just wanted the cheapest yarn I could possibly find. So our laundry room or laundry area in our current rental is absolutely horrid and lifeless, and it's just bad. So my first tip and the first project we will be tackling is a tapestry. And I personally think this is actually one of the best ideas, the best ways to use up yarn quite quickly, and that's tapestry. So I've already collected some colors, I have an idea, and that will be our first project. For the second project, also for the exact same laundry room, I want to make like a cover of a sort for the tumble dryer, because at this stage it's just bare and I would just like to have like some sort of covering on the top of it. For this, we are actually going to be using some t-shirt yarn that I wanted to make some containers out of, and I just never really did because they came out very lopsided. Then we have these two beautiful Karen cakes. These will be perfect for some scarves, so I have two of them, and these will also be my only knitting projects because knitting takes a very long time, and I am also currently busy with about 2 or 3 whips, so knitting is not really on my want to do list for this video, but these will be beautiful to knit with, and it actually has like a knitting pattern in the label as well. Okay, so after playing around on Procreate a little bit just with the colors, I finally set on a design and we are ready to go. These are the yarns we will be using. I will be holding the large cream one. I will be holding that one double because it's quite a lot thinner than the rest of the yarns. So we are ready to start, but first I really need some energy for this. Morning everyone, so it's the next day and today we will be starting with the first scarf because we have house inspection today and I do not want to look like a crazy person who is all tangled up in like 4 or 5 balls of yarn. So yeah, I also didn't actually manage to make as much progress as I would have liked because after knitting for about 6 months I have kind of forgotten the fundamentals of some of the crochet stuff, so that's nice. So yeah, we are going to start with the scarf now and we'll see how far we can get. So I have managed to make a little bit of progress, not as much as I would have liked, but you would be surprised, but knitting garter stitch the whole time can actually get quite boring. So I am definitely going to enjoy purling or whatever again a lot more after this one. Okay, so more stash busting ideas. So there are hundreds of these videos on the internet all over the place, and they can kind of get a little bit repetitive at the end of the day because there's only so many ideas. But I really tried to get some unique ones. So starting out, if you do not have a lot of yarn, these projects will probably be perfect for you. So first up are these adorable pincushions. So if you do sewing, these will be absolutely perfect for you, and just look at how cute they are. And also you can let your imagination run wild with this idea. You can make animals, you can make a coffee cup, or literally anything you can think of you can make. And also going along with that idea, you can make some weights for your fabric, also for sewing, so you don't have to go to the shop and buy weights to keep your fabric down. You can just make your own. You can even use them as paper weights if you so wish. Also, I'm going to try to link as many of these projects as possible. If there might be a pattern for you, I found most of them on Pinterest, so hopefully the pattern will be in the link, so if you are interested. Then also, if you like to sew, and maybe you have a friend who has a baby, or you have a baby, you can make these beautiful blankets that are bordered with crochet stitches usually, and these are actually so adorable and not something that you will really find in the shop, so it's quite unique as well. Then a bit of a more well-known one, you can make the most beautiful knit project bags or crochet project bags, and these are beautiful. I just have to remind you that it is quite important to put a lining into these bags, because otherwise your needles will just kind of stick through. Fiber bags or like knit or crochet bags kind of tend to be very floppy and not sturdy at all, so putting in a lining or some extra structure would also help you a lot. I saw this the other day also on Pinterest, and I thought this was such a good idea. If it's winter where you are now, you can make hot water bottle warmer covers. That was a mouthful. So you can literally customize your water bottle, and you can just make like different covers for it and use up your scrap yarn. This group is more for the crochet people. You can probably try to make knit variations as well. Granny squares are incredibly versatile, and you can actually take a hoodie, like a plain black hoodie, and cut off the sleeves, and you can make these beautiful granny square sleeves, and it will just be so unique and so perfect. And you can actually do these on shirts as well. You can cut out the back of your shirts and add like a crochet lace, so you can kind of customize your clothing if you would like. I swear this thing is never going to change color. I can't wait. I've been knitting and knitting and knitting the whole day, and I just cannot wait for the color to change, but it's just not happening. Okay, so I finally have an update for you. I worked on this the whole day yesterday, and I finally managed to finish it. And I am quite impressed with how it turned out, just how look at how beautiful that is. But now you all know what lies in the back of this, and it's disgusting. But at least you don't have to deal with it. I have to. Just look at that. So you can guess what we will be doing today. Also, just a fun fact, this is the very first sweater I have ever made. It's a crochet sweater and with some granny squares. Still till today, one of my favorites. Let's go weave in some ends though. So I just finished with the tassels for both the scarf and also the tapestry. So those two are completely done now, and I will show you the final reveal at the end of the video. We can finally start with the last project for this video, which will just be a mat for the tumble dryer. So that is what we are going to be working on now. So I have quite a few colors, but maybe not enough to really do a lot with. So these are the ones I have, and then I just have one white as well. So the plan is just to make a striped one potentially. So now I just need to do some math and just make sure that I make the stripes the same height and how many stripes I want. Yeah, I think that is just about it. So that will be what we are going to do now. Guys, we are finally done with all of the projects for today, and I'm so happy with how they came out. I think the tapestry is probably my favorite. I just think and look at the back, by the way. Look at the back. I think it's quite neat. Probably not as good as it could be, but I don't think it's bad. Sorry, my bird was in here for a moment. And I think the colors are stunning, and it makes my laundry space look so much more lively and just adds a bit of personality. So I'm very happy with how this came out. Next up was the scarf, and guys, I would be lying if I told you that I enjoyed this, because I did not. This took so long and it got so annoying by the end to do, but it came out so beautifully. And if you do recall, I did say that I was going to do 2 scarves, and after doing this one, after getting about halfway with it, I just decided there's no way that I'm doing another one of these. But I'm quite happy with it, and I love the tassels as well. And it actually worked up quite quickly. It wasn't bad, it's just it gets so boring so quickly because it's just got to stitch all the way. I believe I did this one with a 5mm needle, and the tapestry I did with a 4mm crochet hook. I don't know if that's going to help you, but just in case you were wondering. And then lastly, we have the beautiful t-shirt yarn mat or cover. Sorry, this is the back. I didn't actually tie them, or I just kind of weaved them through, and that is just the back. And then the front, it's quite big, as you can see, but this is also such a good addition to that room. It looks so much better, and now I at least know that the top of the tumble dryer won't get scuffed or damaged But also now this is so pretty, I'm like, you can you can rather scuff or damage the top of the tumble dryer before you damage this. So I'm so happy with this. And none of these projects, okay, well, the scarf did, but none of these took as much yarn as I hoped it would. This one took quite a lot because it's quite big, but the tapestry actually didn't really dent those like 5 colored skeins at all. It like maybe took off half of it, maybe. So that was quite sad. And also the blocking process was actually so awesome. Because the yarns are different weights, I thought I was going to have a problem with it warping and just not being nice and square, well, rectangular, whatever. And the blocking process actually helped that so much. So I was so relieved when I blocked it and I saw that all the fibers were going the exact way that I wanted it to. Just if you are doing this and you are using acrylic yarn, just make sure that your iron is not actually on the project, because it's acrylic, it's kind of plastic, so it will melt. So just make sure you're just a bit above it and then just steam it. Okay, then before we finish this video, I have a few more ideas for you. These are ideas that I might actually try in the future as well. Crochet flowers. I believe you can find so many YouTube channels that will give you proper tutorials on how to do these. I think this will really liven up the space, and I think you won't actually need a lot of yarn. So if you just have like a few scraps yarn left, you can make beautiful flowers. Then also, if you have a very limited amount of yarn, very similar to the tapestry, you can cross stitch. I recently saw this guy on TikTok who actually made like a blanket, I believe, of the Pokemon types, and he just single crocheted a block and then cross stitched on top of that, and then he made like these little Pokemon characters. So that's also a very good idea if you are limited on yarn. There you go, guys. I think that is it for today. I really hope that I could have inspired you today to go and tackle your yarn stash, because it was time for me to try and do something with mine. It annoys me to no end to know that there's so much yarn, and I just feel so bad to just throw away the smaller like skeins, and I don't really know, maybe I should just donate them. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.